screen.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Connected. I believe this is episode 11. Here hanging with your host, DJ Is. You can catch us here every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. For me, it's 2 o'clock because I'm on the East Coast in New York. Actually out here preparing for a charity event I have tonight with Usher. So schedule's been a little crazy. I know last week we weren't able to do Q&A. But this week we'll definitely be doing so make sure you got your questions together. Sorry about that. Anyways, make sure you got your questions together so by the end of the show we can dial those in. So this show is about, and the show is called Is Connected. So it's all about being connected and finding ways to navigate through this, I like to call it a cluster of businesses because it's film, it's engineering, it's television, it's broadcasting. And, I like to just provide you opportunity with job ops, but also prepare you. Last week we got to feature a really well put together resume. And I'm going to have a link for you during the job ops where you can actually check it out. And it's a great blueprint, good layout for those of you who never really put one together. It's something to really, look at and how everything is in order, what's key, what's important. The letter, it means to follow up or have a great follow-up. Just letterhead of putting something together that pretty much tells the employer why you think you're fit for the job or why you're perfect for the job. All right, so those are some of the things we're going to be able to show you again on this show with the link on the right side of the screen. So as I was saying, this is episode 11, and show is definitely about providing opportunity and showing you some really cool grind ops opportunities for you. Now this show, it doesn't just range from, jobs in LA, which is the home base for the Recording Connection. The job ops range from anywhere from LA to New York to Nashville to Texas to Chicago, Atlanta. So we've had some really, really cool jobs come up for those of you that are in different pockets throughout the states. All right. So without further ado, we're going to get into the grind ops. Now, for those of you just tuning in, I'd like to tell everybody before I get into these that make sure you have your pen and pad for notes, and all the crucial details, because I do like to tag along very specific details to the grind ops that I show you guys. All right, so we're going to start off with grind op number 1, which is in the field of film. This is a videographer, full-time, looking for one-man band to shoot, edit, and document daily activities of Vegas business. And this is in Las Vegas, Nevada. So what's cool is that sounds like, you actually get to go out and document and shoot all kind of, and probably capture some weird things in the streets of Vegas, because we all know crazy stuff happens on that strip if you've never been. So let me dial you in some details for that particular grind op. Details: full-time videographer required for immediate start. Must reside in Las Vegas as this is a full-time opportunity. Videographer will need to shoot and edit business-themed videos, document the day-to-day ongoings of a successful business in a similar vein to that of Daily V. Must be proficient enough in shooting and editing to be a one-man team. Okay, so just by the looks of the details, it doesn't mention whether gear is provided for you, so you most your own gear, your own camera, and looks like you're going to be pretty much throughout the day going around all of Vegas, whether it's on foot or whether it's vehicle. So you definitely want to be mobile. You're going to be a one-man team, so it's just going to be you, and you'll be shooting and editing. So looks like you'll be just doing it all yourself. Reside in Vegas. So this is good for you Nevada residents who are looking to be in the field of film. This is for you, all right? This is must reside in Vegas, all right? And they're looking for an immediate start. So you'll be doing themed business videos. You'll be editing content for that particular concept, which is business themed, and document the day-to-day. So, you'll just kind of be, tracking down, shooting specific things, and just gathering content. That looks pretty fun. I mean, it's, it seems like you'll be capturing all the content needed to help one understand what a successful business looks like. All right. So that is grind op. On to grind op number 2. Grind op number 2, this is in the field of film. Again, live streaming producer, assisting creating production and streaming of live production. Must Premiere Pro CC, and this is in New York, New York, actually where I'm at now. So, Forrest, I hope you're jotting this info down, all right, because this is for someone who's in New York. All right, here are the details. This is actually a repeat from last week. I remember this one. So this is a great opportunity that we didn't get any relevant applications for. So here you go. Full service production and broadcast company focused on live production, live streaming, and post-production. Ideal entry-level position for graduates that want to focus on live broadcasting for major networks. Full service production. All right, looks like a pretty busy schedule. And there are 3 things: production, live streaming, and post-production. So you got to know your ins and outs in those 3 different categories, okay? Live production, live streaming, and post-production. This is ideal for entry-level position for graduates. So looks like they're looking for somebody that has the basic information and knowledge pertaining to this particular job, which is live streaming producer. Okay, and again, this is in New York, New York. All right, moving on to grind op number 3. Grind op number 3 is this in the field of recording, live event support. Large radio station seeks audio person to set up and run audio equipment for weekly live events. This is in Orlando, Florida. And so I can tell you, I mean, just based on, I did a sound check yesterday. And, great thing with live events is, you never know what the venue is going to be. You never know what the venue is going to look like inside aesthetically. The challenge for a lot of, front of house guys who are doing live settings, live events. But it's, it's really just knowing how to navigate and flow through certain things. Sometimes you'll get a buzz that'll pop up, or some of the gear ain't acting right, or mics ain't acting right. It's fun. It keeps you on your toes, and which is most important for a live event engineer. All right, knowing your gear, knowing what's too much, knowing what's over processed. You want to keep in mind. All right, so here are some of the details. Large radio station Orlando seeks an audio professional to help set up, correlate, and manage small live events on a weekly for the station. We'll be running and problem solving all audio equipment, as well as the occasional visual equipment, responsible for setup and teardown. May also be involved in on-site promotions and handling clients and listeners. Okay, now this particular grind up is interesting because it's actually asking for a person who pretty much all right. So it's not only technical, and it's not only but it's also clients. You got to know how to make people feel comfortable. You got to be a people person, all right, and also be involved on on-site promotions. So you got to know, just what promotions entails, and promotions is a lot about relationships and outlets and contacts. All right, so that's a whole different category. Now, when you get onto the technical side, it's audio equipment, occasional visual equipment, and problem solving for those particular, for that particular gear. So looks like you need a little bit of tech experience, and you also need experience on dealing with clients. All right. You're going to be managing small live events on a weekly for the station. So there's not intertwined in this particular grind out. This one you definitely got to have some experience in all those areas, because you don't want to blow it. Radio stations, there's always room to move up, and all that's always looked at. Is they always look for who's been the most solid, who's on time, who can maneuver through departments and actually execute. So that's a big one right there. Okay, and again, let me see, just to make sure I'm sure, that's in Orlando, Florida. Okay, just want to make sure I had that right. Okay, moving on to grind out 4. This is in the field of recording, vocal editor, record, mix, edit, voiceovers for tools. All right, recording studios who specialize in voiceovers for film and television are looking for a vocal editor who can work on vocal tracks, taking them from recording to finished product ready to be delivered to clients. Perfect for an audio studio looking to get their start in a studio and add a new level of experience to their resume. Okay, so let's pick this one apart. Okay. Recording studio who specializes in voiceovers for film and television. So got to know a little bit of that before going in. Looking for a vocal editor who can work on vocal tracks. Okay, so working with a vocal in this particular fashion, you just got to know the ins and outs of recording vocal, sound, pitch, key, all those things. Taking them from recording to finished product and ready to be delivered to clients. So, in my world of recording, when you talk about being ready to be delivered to clients, you got to know the mixing aspect. All right. So, wise to clients, it's got to be, at its best state. So, you're talking recording, mixing, and presenting it. So, that entails a little bit of information and knowledge in regards to knowing what it takes to get a product from point A to point B. And this is perfect for an audio studio and for someone looking to get their start in the studio. All right. And also add, experience to your resume. This is definitely that gig. Okay. So before I move on to grind out number 5, do not forget that I'm going to show and present what I did last week, which was a well put together resume. And you'll see that on the right side of your screen with a link attached to it. So click on that link. Like I said, this is a great resume just to get an idea of what yours should kind of look like and how you should lay out the information. Not too much, not too less, but just the right things. And also the letterhead. The letterhead is important, and that's just to, again, tell the employer why you think you're great for this job and why they should hire you. Okay, on that link. Moving on to grind up number 5. This is in the field of film. So we've been getting a lot of films, man. So I know a lot of people who always want to, ask me questions about this particular field. So make sure you're tuning in. All right. Here we go. Senior videographer editor. Action Sports Network seeks experience. Creative videographer to execute projects from the start to end in Los Angeles, California. Okay, so as a level, just sounds cool and fun anyway. Brent seeks a creative videographer and editor, so you got to be creative, all right, and you got to know sports, obviously. Responsible for producing and directing content for live events, website, and TV. We'll be executing projects from start to end. We'll be coordinating and correlating shoots with athletes and products. Now that sounds like a really, really cool gig. You'll be hanging out with athletes, you'll be taking pictures, probably selfies, and you'll be coordinating and correlating shoots. So you'll be doing a lot. So, you'll be responsible for producing and directing the content. So, for anyone looking to get into this, I would say, man, look at your ESPNs, look at your highlight reels, just understand that language is it's it's the same as far as the presentation of lifestyle, but it's still different than the entertainment. It just has a different thing. So you want to make sure you just know what that entails from a presentation to look at the language of it. Executing and then finishing them ready to go. That's kind of like one of the previous grind ops I mentioned where it's start to finish. So it's pretty much this looks like it's a great way to stamp your style, um, your editing, your look of what you put together within this grind up, which is this is a great opportunity, and it's action sports, it's an action sports brand. And you get to be creative, as a videographer and as an editor. So that's really cool. All right, so that is grind up 5 for today's show. Now we're going to get to the fun part to me, which is the questions, the Q&A. I tell folks all the time on the show, this part of the show that I really look forward to because it allows me to kind of connect with you right then and there, and I can share some information with you guys. All right. So we're going to move off to our first question, which is how do I apply for the Chicago position, and which company and which is this opportunity for? Okay, well, we actually have a link that you'll be seeing on the right side of your screen, and this is actually the link you apply for these particular jobs. All right. How do I apply for the Chicago position? Let's see. I'm not sure I had a Chicago on this show, but I'm going to double check. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Chicago, Illinois, right. Well, how you apply, like I said, I just mentioned the link on the right side of your screen where you apply and which for. Okay, I'll tell you right now. Actually doesn't say. I'm sure that information will be on app for you. All right, so I hope opt for it, yeah. So I hope that answers your question. This is Ryan. Sorry, I just got here. Any Denver positions? What up, Ryan? You're a little late, but it's all good. Happy to have you. Actually, there's no Denver grind ops today. We've had Orlando, we've had New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, but no Denver today. All right, maybe make sure you tune in at 11%. All right. For Rod, the link is on the site now where you can click and apply for the jobs. All right. Hope that helps you out. All right. Next question. Let's see. What's a typical day like in the life of DJ Is? I ask because it would be interesting to know the effort that goes into being successful. This is actually a really good question. Well, let me break this down. There's different aspects to what it is I do on a professional side. One of the aspects is I'm a songwriter and producer along with my brother. So that day-to-day, getting throughout my day, that frees me up and allows me to be creative in a musical sense. So for me, what that means is emails, anything pertaining to business, conference calls, meetings. I try to knock that out earlier in the part of the day, so when it comes time for me to be in the studio and creating, my mind's a little freed up and I can create. So that's one aspect. In the musician traveling aspect, being on tour, rehearsing, I get an itinerary. Itinerary says rehearsals at this time, lobby calls at this time. Key thing is to always be on time, right? So I get my itinerary, get to the lobby, shoot to rehearsal. Rehearsal can be anywhere from to 12 hours a day. Wrap up rehearsal, go back to the hotel, wake up, back to the grind, rehearsal. Dev event, meaning dev show. We usually get to the show early so we can do sound check. Sound check usually goes for about, 2.5 hours. Knock that out, come back to the hotel, relax a little, freshen up, head to the event, do the show, come back to the hotel, we travel home. So that's what it looks like on the gigging aspect. Outside of that life, I'm a father, I have a son. Love to spend time with him. Love to make sure I'm on point as a dad, make sure I'm very visible for him. And, people, always ask, well, what's the balance? The balance is balance. You just aim for balance. And, you just hope to execute on every level. And it does get a bit tough. It's a bit demanding. So this is definitely ain't for the weary, definitely ain't for the weak. You got to know where you're going. You got to have a B plan, a C. And that's kind of what a day in the life looks like. All right. So I hope that answered your question. We got a question from Drake. Hey, hope you're doing well. I'm working on becoming an EDM producer. I'm currently putting together my first show at a local venue. My question is, should I get other people to perform and possibly try to find a bigger name to headline, or should I headline it myself? I think you should definitely headline, Drake, so that it doesn't, that can be like spaghetti at the end of the day, dealing with artists, hoping people show up on time. And, I would say, man, just keep yourself as the headline. Definitely, get some, and get it going, man. That's a great thing to do. And good luck on, your journey as becoming an EDM producer. All right. Next question. Let's see here. Look like that's all we have. All right. So with that being said, I need to be here for you at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So before I go, I want to shout out the Recording Connection. I want to shout out my team, Brian, Mike, Howie. Thank you guys. You guys always come through for me. I look forward to seeing you guys. And I'll be in Cali, hopefully. You never know. I'm moving around all the time. All right. So with that being said, make sure you got those apps filled out. Make sure your resume is on point. Again, you can follow us on our social media handles, which is connected. And that will be on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I got Periscope getting hooked up real soon, so we'll be able to catch up on there. But check me out, pics and information for you guys to check out. All right, until next time, peace.
As I was told, while playing this series, direct it, make it.